עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
Good day, folks, right? Mike, am I right?
Good day for a good day.
Good day for a good?
Good day for a good schnitz.
There we go. But seriously, what a day yesterday. Welcome back, guys. We're back. It's been 2 weeks, but we're back. And what an amazing day yesterday. Hostage rescue. The energy we felt. Mike and I'm here with Mike and Kyle. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a few minutes. But Mike was with me yesterday. We were at my parents' hotel. And the energy, he was the first one to release the news, like our first breaking news source.
He even broke it to me in the morning too. I woke up and Mike was like, you heard it here first, good news coming.
When Mike left the hotel, my mom was like, we need our breaking news source guy back.
DM me to join the WhatsApp group.
But seriously, crazy day yesterday.
You know what? It's one of those days and one of those things where you're always going to remember where you were
100%.
at that moment when that ever happened. And we'll get into it later, obviously, but you have these moments every day once you make Aliyah where you're just like, oh my God, you know, this is the greatest place ever. It's just this like out of body experience. And yesterday was one of those.
The energy that was on the streets and just everyone, it was crazy.
I was at the pool and they started blowing whistles, people were splashing water, and it was just like, I had goosebumps going through me. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, this is like...
I'm still getting goosebumps now, thinking about
honestly,
it.
Honestly, it was one of those moments.
How do you say goosebumps in Hebrew?
Smarmore. Zemila tova. Mikola.
No, that was good. But yeah, amazing day yesterday. Hopefully better news to come, more good news to come.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're here. I'm introducing a new segment on the podcast, Olim Success Stories. We're going to be taking Olim from different countries who have made Aliyah and talking about their experiences. Let's talk about what defines a successful Aliyah. First of all, actually, let me introduce yourselves. Let's introduce Mike and Kyle. Just do a quick 1-minute intro about yourselves. Mike, by the way, some of you guys may know him as the Big Schnitz.
Amen.
But they are our Olim from Canada, our star Olim. Huge success stories, some may say.
Oh boy. We really got to define what success means.
So first I'll give us an intro and then we'll talk about what defines success.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Kyle Ungerman, from Toronto, moved here 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I work in high tech, and it's really unique. Not a lot of people do that here. So it's really interesting. I work at a startup called Crowded. Banking for nonprofits. Message me after if you're interested. And I've been here for 5.5 years, and I came here actually to do my MBA at Tel Aviv University. Was here on a student visa. Didn't have plans to stay, and then after a year, I fell in love and made Aliyah.
With a girl or with the country?
Multiple and the country, and then I just decided to stay. And it's been 6 years. It kind of flies by, but when you look back at the 6 years, you're like, so much has happened. And to be completely honest, I know it's going to sound cheesy, gvina, another word for you, is I wouldn't have been here, honestly, if it wasn't for Mike. I mean, he was, one of my best friends from Toronto. It provides a big safety net. I know a lot of other Olim sometimes don't have that, security, and I really don't know what I would have done.
It's getting emotional here.
If he wasn't here.
How do I?
He knows that, though.
I'm looking around the room. My moon is a Cancer, so I am very emotional.
True.
All those spiritual people out there. Okay, my name's Michael Zagdanski, aka the Big Schnitz. As some people know me now by my on-screen persona. What's my story? My friends always laugh at me now when people come up to me on the street. They're just like, what the hell's going on?
And they look at me and they say, little Schnitz.
No, Kyle always wanted to do a review with herring. Kyle loves
I do love herring. I'm 110% Ashkenazi.
Wow. I'm actually a very picky eater when it comes to food, and Kyle's just the kind of guy that when you put like anything on the table, he'll
eat it.
He'll eat it. He'll eat a chicken wing right down to the bone.
Cow tongue.
And it'll be like 3 a.m, and we're going to get pizza, and like everyone will get a margarita slice, and Kyle would get like the green onion feta green sauce.
I respect that. Yeah.
Why not?
The weirdest possible thing. He'll order. It's kind of
Mike,
shtick.
who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Anyways,
give us elevator pitch.
Mike Zagdanski, aka the Big Schnitz.
Yeah, every time.
I unofficially moved to Israel in 2019, made Aliyah in 2020. I come from a real estate background, not a tech background. I'm actually not very technologically able. But long story short is I got an opportunity to work here for 3 months in 2019 to manage a property in Jerusalem. And the original plan was to send me for 3 months, and then to eventually come back to Canada, work in my family business, and then be able to come back to Israel a few times a year, get my fix, be able to go back and forth. But the 3 months I had here were just life-changing, and I was 26 at the time. And I said, if there's any time in my life where, you know, I have minimal responsibility and I genuinely saw this as a place I can live, now's the only time to do it. And still here 5 years later, also thanks to Kyle, which I guess we'll get into. Yeah. It's so important to have someone to go through the experience with.
Yeah.
Like, we've been lucky. We lived together for 3.5 years.
Are you guys, there's a rumor on the Olim Street you guys are secretly dating. Like,
oh boy,
we've gotten brothers, cousins. Definitely, people thought we were dating.
People for sure think we're brothers. I get it all the time. It's a
no, but we always have this shtick because when we go up to people and we're like Mike and Kyle, and they're like, "Where are you from?" He's like Toronto, and I'm like Toronto, and then we say,
We've known each other since we've been 10 years old.
And I say, Mike we went to each other's bar mitzvahs. Our birthdays are 2 days apart.
Wait, you guys actually knew each other from Canada?
We knew each other from Canada.
Since younger.
Went to camp together, high school together, university together. But we knew each other. We weren't like the best of friends. And then Kyle was already here when I moved here. Kyle came before me, so he showed me the ropes. Thanks, Kyle.
No worries.
And so, yeah, we lived together for the month of August 2019. And then I'll always remember we had this crazy month where we're both like, we have to stay. And we were at our best friend's wedding in September of 2019. And this is like everyone was dancing, we're having fun, and then I go into the bathroom, and Kyle's in the bathroom, and we could look at each other. I'm like,
you guys, we're like, sounds like you're about to make out or something. Like
the premise of it is
sorry. Where's the story going?
I just look at him like, we're best friends. Like, I love you. Like, that was our like moment of,
that was our moment.
We're going through this experience that not many people are fortunate enough to have.
That was also a unique experience because I just finished school, and I moved all my stuff back home. I didn't have like a plan to move back. So I was home for 2-3 months, not knowing if I was going to come back or not. So having Mike help me with that little bit of a push, like I had an offer for a job, and to convince myself and to convince my parents, truly, it was very easy to move
scary.
with someone
Mike
that I knew.
He's tearing up here.
It was.
I was almost in Trudeau's government. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I want to get in. We'll get into your story soon, but kind of kicking off the segment, this Olim success story. What is your definition of being successful as an Olim here?
That's a good question.
I chose you guys for a reason. I'll explain why, but let's hear what you guys think defines success.
Listen, I think the fact that we're still here. After 5 years, 5.5 years, whatever. And I guess we'll get into it more, but we've been able to, integrate into Israeli society with the language, with the people. We're both operating our own businesses or part of successful businesses. What do I get into smiles here?
Bezrat Hashem will be successful.
Bezrat Hashem, Olim in Tel Aviv. Here we go. Career shift, big career shift at 31 years old.
People make career shifts at 50.
But I think you hit spot on. But Kyle, also, let's hear what you think.
Well, I was just going to say that, I'm part of this organization here called Nevo, which was started by like Michael Eisenberg. But he...
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Well, listen,
can we put a time limit on this segment?
When we talk about success, the thesis and premise of it is that, we want to build a community of people to help each other out in the tech community. But it goes to the point as in 1 in 4 Olim leave Israel after 2 years because they find it very hard to integrate, whether it's career-wise, whether it's friends-wise. And I think what I love about Olim in Tel Aviv is it's almost like giving that voice again to this community of Olim here to give them the confidence to stay. Because if you think about it, like Toronto, New York, Toronto, Miami, they're different places, Toronto, London, but Israel is like quite a different place than than where we all grew up. So it is very hard to adjust back. So I understand why people sometimes go home. It's very hard to adopt here.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that people say, right? That's an issue with Israel is you come here, you meet all these friends, they become your close friends, and then they just leave. It's a revolving door. Yeah. And I guess something that we're super lucky about, and I think the stigma is actually changing over the years, as people realize what they experience, can be sustainable. It's not just a certain period of their life. Our entire cohort that moved in the same year as us, we're all still here.
That's amazing.
So we built an unbelievable social circle and friend group here. And we're all still here. So it's so cool to be to go through that with people.
So let me tell you why I chose you guys.
Oh, boy.
no.
Why like that?
I choose you, Pikachu.
Two things. Two things. You've been here for 5+ years. That's one. That's
Chamesh shanim.
That's defined as success.
4.
I used to, funny thing, I used to love saying, I loved living here for 2 years because I just loved saying shnatayim. So shnatayim is saying 2 years. It's just a nice way of saying it. So I'd be like, how long have you lived here for? And I'm like, shnatayim. It was easy. It was fun. Now when someone's like, how long do you live here? I'm like, chamesh chetzi. It doesn't sound the same as shnatayim. So like now I want to say like shnatayim, veshnatayim, veshlana.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
tough.
That's so true. Funny.
But no, seriously, I want to say Kyle and Mike are like the birthright poster childs, kind of.
Sorry, I'm going to remove myself from consideration from that. Kyle is the ultimate birthright poster child. I've been lucky enough, actually, I've been visiting Israel.
For Israelis listening, birthright equals Taglit.
Taglit. I've been visiting Israel every single year, essentially my entire life. I've had very close connections to the country. My grandfather was a Holocaust survivor, always, taught us the importance of Israel and going there. So I guess we'll get into it more when I moved here. But Kyle came on birthright. I think it was your first time or even second time to Israel.
My 6th time.
Okay, sorry. Right, well, but point is, came on birthright, loved it, and then decided to come back to study his MBA and make Aliyah, and then went to work at a tech company, had a exit at a tech company.
Yeah, but why did I love birthright so much?
The girls.
The Israeli soldier on your bus.
I fell in love with the soldier on my bus.
Yes.
Oh, classic. So classic poster birthright.
Truly. Yeah. I moved back, not... I moved back because I love Israel, but yeah, I enjoyed the experience. But yeah, you're right. I mean... Shout out to Taglit. But no, before that I came many times and also grandparents, Holocaust survivors. But Mike's right. I mean, Taglit's really amazing in the sense that it shows you like all the good things for Israel, that it's like, wow, Israel's so rosy and stuff. But yeah, it's...
Wait, so you guys so one portion was you guys being here for 5 years, and the second part was, I think when I think of Olim that have integrated into Israeli society most, I think of you too. Seriously, you guys have the most Israeli friends I know. You guys,
I know, Mike does.
Stop it.
You do too. You guys know good Hebrew shnatayim.
Ken.
But
Kyle,
seriously,
you want to tell them about your Hebrew shtick when you first moved here?
Which one?
Which one? The only one. אני יודע 3 דברים בעברית.
I used to say this like funny thing, and it's like it worked like it's just like a cute funny thing, but I'd be like, אני לא יודע, like someone tries to speak to me in English, and I'll be like, אני לא מבין אנגלית, זה ממש בעיה שלי, which means I don't understand English. They're like, Kyle, די, you're American. I'm like, אני לא יודע אנגלית. And then I'll say, אני רק יודע דברים מיוחדים בעברית. And they go, מה? Which means I only know the important things in Hebrew. I say, אפשר חשבון? I'm like, all right, טוב. And I go, יש לך חבר. Which means you have a boyfriend. So I'm still single, so it hasn't worked, but it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
No, I'm
my Hebrew is good, but Kyle has mastered all the slangs and all
which we'll get to also.
code.
No, Mike's Hebrew, I have to give it to him.
Mike has amazing Hebrew.
Top
notch. He's taken a lot of lessons. He's put in a lot of effort, and I give Mike a ton of credit for it. And he has that little now with the Schnitzel reviews. Mike has that little accent. He's got that. You got the race down a little bit. You know
yeah. When he throws in the Hebrew,
but
you got
the
really well.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make
very
it.
Impressed.
With
very
the
impressed.
Israeli
Mikey.
accents.
Okay, so I want to talk about Canada real quick. You guys made Aliyah from Canada. Walk me through some of the good things that have come out of Canada, because we see a lot of hate about Canada.
Celine Dion, Shania Twain.
Shania Twain's from Canada.
Of course.
I didn't know that.
Drake.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
The Weeknd, although
maple syrup.
Anti-Semitic. So
maple syrup's a good one.
Israelis love maple syrup. Whenever I say I'm from Canada, they go, I love maple syrup.
And Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls.
Canada has a better side of Niagara Falls than the American side.
That is true.
So that's like our...
You know what? Canada, for what it's worth, I have to say, the world is changing now. Whether you're in America, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in all these different places. Us growing up in Canada, I think we came from an incredible childhood. We really did. The Jewish community in Toronto was unbelievable. One of the best in the world, really. Summer camp, high school together, Jewish camp, like Jewish high school. We played sports. Like, our parents gave us everything that we wanted and more, and I think I'll forever be grateful for that. And when I eventually think about, raising kids, whether it's in Israel or wherever else.
I don't say that.
You're right. But I always look back at my childhood and I'm very grateful for how, I was able to grow up in such a great place. So shout out mom and dad. Thanks for raising me well.
How do you guys feel about Canada's immigration policy?
Oh my God.
As Ori Cohen might say, Gazada. Gaza in Canada. The new Gazada.
Mike,
Canada announced 1 week ago, I think, as of now, they let in 1,000 Gazan families, and I think they're now
5,000.
upping it to 5,000. And Justin Trudeau is a disaster. Kyle always posts his or reposts stuff, and he puts a clown emoji next to Justin Trudeau. That's his shtick.
No, it's changing. It's definitely changing.
Yeah, Canada's having severe troubles. So all you Canadian Jews, there is an alternative. There is an alternative.
Mike is the number one recruiter.
Don't get my Zionism. Don't get my Zionism going. I can go on forever. If you ever want your son or daughter to move to Israel, you just tell them to call me, and
It's true.
I'll help them
Or
out.
his dad.
So I want to talk about real quickly how I met you guys.
I'm on a podcast.
Sarah would be so proud.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how I met you guys. Kyle, I was waiting to tell you this.
Oh, no. I don't even know if I remember this story.
So Kyle, I met 4 years ago.
What?
At a bus stop near Frischman. You were pretty drunk. And you were telling me you were doing an MBA at Tel Aviv University.
Did he have a bump on his forehead?
I don't remember.
I actually don't remember
Yeah,
this.
you were like going to a party, obviously.
Why was I taking a bus, though?
I don't know. Or you were waiting for a taxi. You were waiting at a bus stop with a guy. I think it was Mike. And Mike, but I officially met you were trying to get coffee with me for like
Yeah.
a year. No, actually I met you when I made you Olive the Week. So for those of you for those who haven't seen Mike's Olive the Week post, it was like a year and a half ago.
Not great engagement on it.
Two-time Jewish Olympic squash bronze medalist.
Why? Bronze medalist. I think maybe tell the story how you won the bronze. Because I think it's pretty impressive.
You know how it works
How many teams were there?
You know how
Did
it
you
works?
try out?
Okay, listen.
How many teams were there in it, firstly?
You know how it works in Judaism at the school? They give you participation awards, right? Okay? We like the participation awards. Long story short, I used to compete in squash, and I competed in the 2017 Jewish Olympic Games, aka the Maccabiyah. I actually have a funny story about that. I came here, they give you all your credentials, and you think you're like such hot shit. You're an athlete, you're walking around, you're like, yeah, I'm in Israel. Everybody knows about the Maccabiyah. They advertise it's the third largest sporting event in the world based on the number of athletes, whatever the hell that means. Again, participation awards. And you pay to play. You pay an exorbitant
Which is
amount.
crazy.
You pay an exorbitant
Insane.
amount of money
Insane.
to compete in these games. But I must hand it to them. They really give you this experience as if you're an Olympic level athlete. The opening ceremonies, stadium, 40,000 people. No, it's
was
crazy.
amazing.
It's really professional. Anyway, so I'm walking on the beach and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and talk to Israeli girls. I'm cool. I'm an athlete. I'm wearing my credentials. So I go up to these two girls on the beach and I thought I'm so cool. I'm with my teammate. I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? They're like, hey, what do you want? What do you want? Like, and I'm like, oh, nothing. We're here for the Maccabiyah. We're athletes. And they're like, what is the Maccabiyah? Like, Israelis have no idea about what these were. So I realized very quickly.
That's
really
not
matter.
the cool thing to do.
Anyways, yes, I haven't said this on camera. I won a bronze medal in the Maccabiyah, third place. What I don't tell people is there were only 3 participants.
It was literally his fun fact on Olive the Week post that he's a 2-time Jewish.
Yeah,
bronze
so
medalist.
my line is that sometimes showing up is good enough.
It's true. It's a good
Sometimes
lesson
all
in
you
life.
got to do is show up.
It's a really good lesson.
It's a great lesson in
And
life.
It's a great lesson.
It was a good experience. I got to get back in shape, which I need to do again. And I went through this whole spiritual journey, which was very interesting.
Yeah, Mike is big into spirituality.
Yeah,
Wow, it's,
so Mike's on the Olim and TLV team, as some may or may not know. You should know by now. And a few months ago, he messages me. Yeah, I went to this astrologist at Shuka Carmel to see if we're astrologically compatible as business
Oh boy, I'm
partners.
going to start getting red.
Capricorns and Geminis.
What would they say?
Yeah, it was
The conclusion was that I can trust Noah's decision making.
But was she going to say anything otherwise? That's why I
Yeah.
don't always believe in
Yeah.
this stuff. Like what she wants to say what the customer is going to hear.
Totally. No, it's like some days you're going to be happy at some point.
Yeah,
it can be
of
very
course. Generic.
general.
Yeah.
But you went into a big
We've
face.
been doing a
Listen,
good job so far, I think.
Yeah, I think I hope so.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And I don't know, as you go through this journey of looking at your next step in life, you kind of look for
Yeah.
answers and guidance. And so
Yeah.
it was like half kidding, but like the results were good. So it's serious.
I want to address this real quick. We did a Q&A thing. We have an answer that I might need to post the stories, but someone asked me if Mike and I are dating.
And?
The answer is
And we are not
dating.
We are not dating. I'm sorry, everybody.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe no.
Maybe.
All right.
As you know, that's Justin Bieber says, I will never say never.
No, Mike wants a full Israeli. He doesn't want a half American, half Israeli.
Well,
which we'll get into.
okay,
Hey, wait,
you can
let's-
speak about that.
We'll get into it. I want to hear. Tell me about your Aliyah story. Tell me about your experience living here. just tell me about what it's like being an Olim in Israel in this day and age, and we'll get into advice for other Olim later on. But
So I have a bit of a different experience. Again, coming here my whole life, my parents have brought Israelis to Canada. Over the years, my dad does something with Duvduvan. If you're in Duvduvan, sign up for the canoe trip at the Zagdanski home in Toronto. And so, you know, moving here was fairly comfortable for me. I had a large group of Israeli friends that would always make sure I'm okay, would make sure I have somewhere to go for Chagim, somewhere to go for Shabbat dinner, would make sure to integrate me into their social circles. So the transition for me was not as difficult as some other people have. I have a lot of respect and appreciation for people that kind of just pick up and move and, you know, put their whole... put all their eggs in one basket in coming here. And I was fortunate enough to have the flexibility where, in the worst case, I could just go back home. Notwithstanding, there was a big opportunity cost to come here. I left my family business to move to Israel, so thank God I'm still here. I better still be here after that. So yeah, it was an easier transition for me. Integrating into Israeli society is super important for me. I started.
And you've done a great job.
Amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I started taking Ulpan right away. I look Israeli.
You're starting to look a little Israeli.
My celebrity lookalike is Vinny from Jersey Shore. So I don't know if people see that.
Better than mine. Mine's Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Swear. No, my story always is this. I always have to.
The face.
I swear.
The square.
Israelis don't
square
understand sarcasm, and I say this all the time. One time I was
Israelis
talking to
don't.
some.
I'm very sarcastic.
I was talking to a group of Israelis. We were talking about.
Do you think it's a language barrier thing where they don't understand the Olim sarcasm?
It must be because my humor is sarcasm, and they would be like, "Who's your celebrity lookalike, Kyle?" And as a joke, I would, and you would just, how would you like react to this? I say it depends on the day, but I usually get a mix of Ryan Gosling or like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay,
right? You laugh, haha, you don't look anything like them. This Israeli girl rips me to shreds. Who's ever told you look like Ryan Gosling? You look nothing like him. Your friends are lying to you. That's rude of them. And I'm like, okay, relax.
Oh my God,
I look like Buzz Lightyear. Does it make you happy? And she's like, I see that. Every time.
Oh my God, it's so true.
Okay, back to your story because I ended it there.
I don't even remember what I was saying. Anyways, and I'm here. I'm independent here. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't know if I've ever said those words out loud before.
I've gotten so many questions. What does Mike do?
Yeah.
He's always at the George or
Here's
Soho
the
house.
I do think that's where I work. Those are my places of work. I don't have an office, so I go to these spaces.
Documentary coming out,
to
The Mystery
people.
of Michael Zagdanski. Starring Buzz Lightyear.
No one knows what Mike does. I said it.
Let's keep it under wraps.
And I also
Mike's on the side.
I also want to hear about your favorite memory as an Ole here, especially with Ka. But we can get into that when you guys talk about living together and all that.
So, just when it comes to the topic of integrating, and also one of my favorite memories, me and Ka were both in the Corona hotels.
Wow.
And
wait, did you guys have COVID, or were you quarantined there when you landed back in Israel?
So the story is actually
Best 2 weeks of my life, by the way, in Israel.
I think COVID was an
Corona?
amazing
Everyone listening, I've
experience.
been here for 5.5 years. The greatest moment of my life in Israel here was 2 weeks in the Corona Hotel. I'll talk about it after.
No, because COVID, the whole country was closed. So when you meet someone and they're Israeli, you always have to, as an Ole, you got to prove it a little bit.
Right.
You know, you got to have who do you know? Do you know someone? Are you actually living here? You know, are you just a person coming here, staying for 2 weeks, and then they're going to off kind of thing. Sorry, I don't know if we can swear. Anyways, so the COVID hotel, it gives you a little bit of credibility. It's like, oh, he must live here. He's here during Corona. He's here with us.
He's one of us.
He's one of us. And it gave you an opportunity to meet Israelis that maybe would have never have otherwise spoken to you. And I think that's part of the reason why the COVID hotel was amazing for us, because we just met all these friends and people that maybe if we saw them on the street or in a social circle, they'd be like, who the hell is this guy? We want nothing to do with him.
It was also partying for 2 weeks straight, like in the COVID hotels.
Which hotel were y'all at?
I was in Jerusalem.
I was also quarantined in Jerusalem.
Really?
But because I landed in Israel. Because I escaped COVID.
This one was parties and like.
So we were at our friends. Should we tell the whole story?
Yeah.
You want the whole story?
TLDR.
Okay, long story short, me and Ka had this rule during COVID phase that we're not going to go to any indoor parties. That's how we're going to mitigate our risk, so to speak. We're only going to go to parties that are outdoor. Very, very smart of us.
Yeah, it really worked. Happened like 4 times.
And then our one friend happened to be having a birthday inside of Emesh. And me and Kyle like, hey, we're going to go for 5 minutes. We're going to go. We're just going to say hello. We're going to leave. And during Emesh, we didn't know at the time, there was these 2 girls walking around coughing. And we're like, oh, COVID, ha ha, like they have it. Next day, literally everybody started getting diagnosed with COVID. And we were at our friend's place in Caesarea, not our friend's place. We rented a house with like 30 of our close friends in Caesarea. And so whatever, we go through the weekend. It was super fun. We get back. Kyle gets diagnosed first with COVID. And we were going through the symptoms online. We were sitting in the kitchen.
No, we're sitting in a room. We weren't even allowed to leave our rooms.
We lived together for 3.5 years.
With a third roommate at the time.
With a third roommate at the first. So we were going through the symptoms. Okay, fever, no. Chills, no. Whatever. And then it was like, oh, can you taste or smell? So we both try a piece of chocolate or whatever. We're like, okay, we could taste it.
Tastes
and
good.
it's like, can you smell? And we spray this like Febreze, like right into our nose, and we're like,
nothing.
We don't smell that. We're done. We don't smell that.
Done.
So then what'd you do?
And it was not good because we were living with a third roommate, and so we had to be confined to our room. And so Kyle was like, I heard amazing things about the COVID hotel.
Yeah, there's a rumor going around. They're like my friends, like, if you have COVID, like, do what you can and get to Jerusalem. Like, they're throwing a big party on Thursday. This is Tuesday. I'm like, this is early on in COVID, by the way.
A big party on
This is May. You know, we don't know what this China virus or what this virus.
Totally.
Everyone's like, you have to get to Jerusalem. It was like the pilgrimage to Jerusalem. It was like,
yeah. So Kyle calls. He gets his way to Jerusalem, and then
did they like pick you up in a VIP like get taxi?
You know what they pick you up in?
In an ambulance.
In an ambulance.
No, they didn't.
Swear on my life, they picked me up in an ambulance. I had pictures of the hazmat. A guy in a hazmat suit picks me up in an ambulance.
They were wearing hazmat suits.
No, they didn't.
I pull up to the hotel in Jerusalem, and all I hear is techno music. And I look at the person, and I'm like, where are we going? I just packed shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops. I come in with my roommate, who's this Israeli guy. I kind of miss.
Story. Remember on the table?
We get into our hotel room. I open up my bag, and it's just my clothes and computer. I don't know where the hell am I? It's COVID. This guy brings out his like baller clothing, 6 bottles of alcohol. He's like posting vodka and tequila like on our thing, taking pictures. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Where are we?
Is this your roommate?
Yeah, this Israeli guy, and he's like, bro, my friends are here. Come, you'll meet them. Like, we're gonna go pre on the 5th floor in like 20 minutes. I'm like, where are we?
It's so fun.
It was a crazy experience.
My God.
So Kyle goes to Jerusalem a few days before me. I was a little bit more conservative. I was like, you know what? I'll stay. I'm not diagnosed yet.
Yeah. Also, your mom was probably freaking out.
My mom was probably freaking out. And then the day I got diagnosed with COVID, there was a horrible incident with my friend in Toronto with his father. And so I was just devastated. It was the night I got COVID. I really wanted to fly to Toronto. I couldn't fly to Toronto. Kyle's like, you know what? Just like come to the hotel. You'll feel much better. You'll have freedom of movement. You can actually speak to people. It'll be good for you. So I wanted to go to Jerusalem, and I heard the hotel in Tel Aviv wasn't young people. I heard it was
Dan Panorama?
No, it was the Achsania, the B'nai Dan hostel.
Okay.
Tier 2.
Anyways, so I'm calling, and they're like, I'm so sorry, Jerusalem's full. And I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do now? So I started saying, I need to be with my best friend. Like, I have so much anxiety. Like, I need to be with Kyle. He knows what to do to calm me down.
Meanwhile, like, Mike's on the phone on the other line, and it's like loud music, and I'm like, Mike, you got to get here now. Like, just do what you
Mike,
can.
It's
and
crazy.
Get here. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
We felt totally fine. We weren't sick.
No, we weren't sick. And so, anyways, and the thing with the Achsania, the youth hostel, was that it was all refugees. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Tel Aviv, whatever. I need to get out of this apartment. So I get picked up in an ambulance also. I get taken to this hostel, and I walk in, and I kid you not, I'm probably the only white person there.
Oh my God.
Literally, I think that like everybody got sent to Jerusalem, and then they just started flowing people to Tel Aviv. But then slowly but surely, more people kept coming. And then in the end, because if you have COVID, you can like be around each other. You don't have to worry about. They just said you can't make it worse, or you're not contagious with people that have COVID. So they let you roam free. And very similar story. Every night was like a party because everyone that got COVID was like, "Oh yeah, who are you? Oh, I'm a bartender at Goat. I worked at Haiku."
There was exactly, and there was like this guy. Even there was a barber who got. Listen, there was a barber at my place who got COVID, and every single morning he would go to his little place in the morning, and I'd get a haircut there like once a week. Like we had our own little economy in there. It was like quite. It was quite beautiful.
It got to the point where a DJ.
Were you guys sad to leave?
A DJ got COVID.
People were crying when they were leaving.
A DJ got COVID, and we were recruiting him to the hotel. We're like, you have to come. Bring your turntables. Bring your speakers. And so the next day he comes. We were on the news. They had to build like this wall because the Walt came and they were chucking over the orders for people because everyone was ordering.
People were sneaking in alcohol. Like it was a.
That's amazing.
By the way, shout out Walt. I am Walt's #1 customer without a doubt.
Yeah, Mike is a big Walt guy.
Wait, so people were. How did they kick you out? What was the kicking out process?
You get rid of COVID. You have 2 positive tests.
No. So the way it worked is you needed 2 negative tests.
Sorry, 2 negative tests.
And then while that was going on, because I tested positive again. And I was really upset because I really wanted to leave and go back to Toronto. And then that's just when they changed the rules where they say after 14 days of a positive test, you're no longer contagious. So basically they sent everybody home.
Oh my God.
But
that's a crazy story.
COVID was an unbelievable
Crazy
experience.
story.
We threw crazy parties and everyone is just like, and also when we got COVID, everyone that was around you had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So all of our friends are locked into their apartments and we're just sending them videos
just having a good time.
Of having a good time. And they're like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
COVID days were giving me anxiety. Can we change the topic?
Please,
Sorry.
please.
Okay.
Not gonna have social distancing in here.
What is it like? I want to direct this question to Kyle because Mike, you talked about it kind of, but what's it like to integrate into Tel Aviv? What were your biggest challenges? What advice do you have for other Olim trying to integrate into Israel? Not specifically Tel Aviv, but
Tel Aviv or like Israel?
Specifically integrating into Israeli culture. What advice could you give?
I think I have to say, for me at least, working in the high tech industry really helped with that because you were just surrounded inevitably by so many Israelis, and the companies I was at, and working at a WeWork, and then from there you just kind of met more Israelis. That was from like an actual meeting perspective. I like the high tech industry for that thing. It helps people do that. Advice for people integrating more into society here. I just think it's like, you kind of have to come here and like expect that things aren't going to work out in a weird way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to like roll with it a little bit. And like, like I got my hockey skates stolen last night. And I'm pretty upset about it. Speaking about
You had
this
a rough
all
day
day.
also. It's a good thing you're wearing those headphones. People can't see your side.
I'm not talking about my bad haircut I got as well. But I just think that like something that I've learned that I kind of, I hope everyone else moving here wants to come and integrate here should learn is that kind of like just roll with the punches in a way here. It makes it more fun for whatever fun that is. But look at it in a way as like, it's not as easy as where we all grew up for some of us in North America. That's a really easy lifestyle. And here it's like challenging, but like lean into it more and have more fun with that because, there's some times where like I'm going to shred a Klitar or whatever. It's going to some random like building and I'm waiting there for 3 hours and I'm late for this and I'm late for that. And like in the moment, you're like, this is the worst thing in the world. Nobody's understanding me. My ticket number says A11, but I'm looking at the screen and they're already at A24 and no one's helped me. And I'm like, I'm already late for this other meeting and I'm freaking out. But now when I look back at it, I'm like, it kind of built up some resilience in myself. So I think in like a lot of ways,
It's good resilience, Kyle, waiting at the...
it is, but I think that like for people moving here, it's like important to know that like it's just not going to work out a lot of the times, and that's okay.
Right.
And that's why this community of all of us surrounding each other, and why it was so helpful that I was living with Mike, is because we were able to go through it together.
Right.
And he was able to lean on me and help me. It's like, actually, don't go to Yossi on the left side. Go to like Chana all the way on the right. She's very friendly and she'll help you. And
Just
stuff
little
like that.
tips and tricks. And to Kyle's point, everybody goes through those experiences, so don't think
100%.
you're alone. And you just have to put yourself out there. You're moving to a different
That's the
country.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
You're on your own, right? I always say, and Kyle laughs at me, it takes a certain kind of person to get up and move their life to a different country, whether whether you didn't feel comfortable with who you were, whether you wanted to start fresh, or whether you just wanted to move. So everybody's super interesting and everybody's so warm and open. And if you put yourself out there, this community provides the resources to help you make it. Everyone's super helpful. Everyone's super friendly. But in regards to Israelis, which is something that was super important for us, I would say you have to try and learn Hebrew. I think it's an absolute must. If you want to learn it, if you want to live in this country, you have to speak the language of the country.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say, well, Israelis should know English. That's super important for businesses, for life, for traveling,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
And on one hand, that's true, but you live in Israel. The language here is Hebrew.
Speaking of the Hebrew language, what's y'all's favorite Hebrew word?
You can go first. Kyle knows all the good slang. I don't know which one you're going to say this time.
Slang or word?
Both.
My day one is Kais Shelavia. Day one.
I referenced that in my last Schnitzel video. Why don't you tell us what that is, just so people know?
Kais Shelavia is essentially a really sad movie, I believe, from the 70s. My producer's shaking his head saying that
My producer.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, my producer, as if this is like my 100th podcast, probably my first. That's showbiz, baby. But essentially, it's a movie where this girl had a birthday party, no one shows up. And essentially, it's a really sad movie.
Her name was Aliyah.
And her name was Aliyah. So whenever you go to a birthday party or a party in Israel and no one shows up, you reference this really sad movie saying, Mazeh, Hakait Shel Aliyah. And my Israeli
I need to
friend,
watch this movie.
my Israeli friend Shir
don't.
taught me this at summer camp. And
That's the punchline.
when I say it to Israelis, they're like, Ma, how do you know this? That's it.
Wait, what's your favorite Hebrew slang? Or is that the slang?
That's the
That's
slang.
it.
Okay.
Hakait Shel Aliyah.
No Hebrew, nothing else?
My favorite word?
Yeah. That you just love saying. Like it's a flex kind of to say.
I don't know. Were we talking about this before?
Mike, what's yours?
I feel like you say shtuyot a lot. Shtuyot.
Shtuyot? It's a good one. Sounds
Okay,
nice.
okay.
I'll go back to Shnatayim. There's something about that. It just felt nice. 2 years, Shnatayim. Sounds like, kind of sounds like lovely and like a little bit of like spicy and Shnatayim.
So my word, I'll say the word first. My favorite word is bekitzel. Great word. It's basically making a long story short. When someone's just rambling on and on, you say, yalla bekitzel. Well, tell me the tachlis here. What's going on? And my favorite slang, well, there's a story behind it if we can. When me and Kyle were first here, we went on a double date.
Great one. Sad one, but great one.
Sad but great. We went on a double date with these Israeli girls. It was just before we were going back to Canada for this wedding in September that we referenced in the beginning. Kyle wasn't sure he was even coming back. So he was like, Mike, let's have like a, let's try and find Israeli experience or something.
No, it's you saying, Kyle, this is my last night. I want to go to sleep. Kyle, come on, this is going to be really fun. Let's go out with these two Israeli girls. Just so everyone's on the record.
Story, just so you know.
Anyways,
I'll pay for it too, but just come with me. You didn't forget that part, did you?
Anyway, so we were out with these two Israeli
Shout
girls.
out to Mush, yeah.
They show up an hour and 15 minutes late.
Where'd
to
you
the
guys
dinner.
go?
We went to Mashia.
You took these Israeli girls to Mosh.
I didn't.
That's another.
Mike did.
That's another Israeli word. It's called a flya, which is a sucker. Which we are both were suckers, still probably are. But that's something you got to accept when you come to Israel. You're just a flya. You know,
You took them
sometimes.
to Mashia for a first date. I don't know if I would define these as Olim success stories. I kind of take it back.
These
you
are
invited us. Let's just remember that.
As I said, this is an Olim failure.
This was in the
we
beginning.
all fail. This just goes to show
These are lessons that I was telling you learn about.
Exactly.
I'm never
Anyways,
going there. I'm never doing this.
They showed up an hour and 15 minutes late. It was a nice conversation, but obviously nothing came out of it. Israeli girls, there's what are the words? There's not stigma, generalizations,
Reputation, stereotype.
stereotypes. Thank you.
Time? No. Okay.
Stereotypes. That they're challenging. Chai b'seret, I guess, is another slang. Living in a movie.
Nice. That's a good one.
I'm
But-
Fibus right now with my producer, I think.
Anyways, so we had the dinner. It was nice. Whatever. There was nothing super eventful after the dinner. Actually, Kyle's a funny video of me in my car being like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!" Like I was so excited. That was so amazing. And they literally never spoke to us again. But
Do you guys pay for dinner? Obviously.
of course, but we were on the cab to the airport the next day, and we started talking to the cab driver. Another like Israeli thing. You just start telling your cab driver
Your
about
whole
your
life
life.
story.
Yeah.
And so we
I
told
hope you
him.
get there in one piece at
Yeah.
the same time.
So we started telling him like about what happened last night, and he goes, "You know what you guys are?" And we're like, "What?" He goes, "Pach zevel," and we're like, "What
like,
does
"What's
that
that?"
mean?" He's like, "A garbage can."
You get kicked around like a
Kicked around
garbage
like
can.
a garbage can. And we're like, okay.
This is like part of like the funness of like
Yeah.
living here is that these
Totally.
like,
Cab drivers are being upfront about everything.
Yeah,
about
you just have all
everything,
these
and there's this
interactions.
directness, and they're
That's
just
so
like,
funny.
wow, I didn't think I was a garbage can, but when you put it like that, you're absolutely right. We kind of were in a way.
Chutzpah.
Yeah, it's the
Which
best.
was a good one. What's the biggest difference between dating in Canada and dating here? Maybe dating apps, like, keep it short.
I think in Israel, everything has to be organic.
Yeah.
From my experience on the apps, it doesn't. Why are you laughing? Do I have to be?
That's key. Keep going. Love to see where this goes.
No, I just haven't really like had success. I enjoy going around and speaking to people organically, and then you feel a vibe with someone. I'm an energy guy. I become an energy guy, and
Do you check astrologically compatible before you go on first
so
dates?
what I say with that is like, if it works, then I believe in it, and if it doesn't, what is that shit?
Yeah.
It's just the
Fair.
stars. Who
That's
cares
good.
about that?
Yeah,
That's good.
that's good.
So that's kind of
good,
my
yeah.
line. Yeah.
Okay.
So that always hits well.
Fucking Gemini.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the reaction
People
I
hate us
usually
for that.
get. Like,
Yeah.
oh boy, here we go. Another
Hate us
for
fucking
it.
Gemini. Yeah.
Such a Gemini.
Our birthdays are actually 2 days apart. I don't know if
Yeah.
I
That is
said
true.
already. So,
That's true.
Gemini brothers.
Kyle.
About dating here.
Yeah.
I actually say
Look,
this
or
to,
dating apps, like, what do you see the main difference is?
honestly, what I say to a lot of people, and it's true to my friends back home and everyone, and I say like, what makes Israel so unique, and specifically Tel Aviv when it comes to dating, is, let's say we grew up in Toronto, we were surrounded by the Jewish community in Toronto. So a lot of the girls that we would date in Toronto were just, the Jewish girls in Toronto. You come to Tel Aviv and you take that community of Jewish girls from Toronto, and you take that same community in Paris, in London, in Melbourne, in, LA, New York, Miami, Uruguay, South America.
Africa.
You're bringing South Africa, you're bringing all these people together into one spot, And it makes dating here actually quite fun because you're just meeting people all the time. Like it's really unique to say, you know, I was dating this girl from LA and then a month later, 2 months later, like I'm going, I had to put in the overlap there. No, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think I tell a lot of friends when they say like, what's it like, you know, dating in Tel Aviv or going out people, it's so unique because you're really taking these Jewish communities from around the world and it's interesting.
A melting pot.
It's fascinating. You're meeting everyone has their own different backgrounds. Everyone has their own different, you know, stories. And it's just, it keeps it kind of fresh and alive. And I think it's fascinating. And I think it's honestly the best place to meet a Jewish girl.
And we're all still single. We're all still single.
Yeah. What about Israeli girls, Kyle? How do we deal with those?
Israeli girls are the best.
Yeah, you know what? They are the best.
They really are.
They are the best. Israeli girls are amazing. I've had incredible experiences. I want to marry an Israeli girl for sure.
They're direct, but you know, they're great.
I think it's part of integrating here too, to have a family here, to have Shabbat dinners to go to have, you know, parents here and familial. But me and Kyle have been very close to filing a few missing persons reports for Israeli girls.
Oh my God.
No, because you go with these girls and you think it goes really well. Israel's like the place of amazing first dates. Even just like work meetings, they always go so well at the begining, and you're like, oh, this is, you know, this was great. We're gonna do business together. We're gonna become partners, best friends, whatever. And then they just don't answer you.
There's a ghost problem.
Yeah,
but it's a Tel Aviv thing also for the guy.
It is, and as I said to everyone back, you know, like as we were talking about before, resilience. It's about building resilience.
Wait,
lessons learned.
Didn't someone answer you after like?
Yeah, I mean, this was a while ago, but I think I one time like opened up one of the apps and someone responded back like, "I'm good, thanks. How are you?" And I look at the conversation. It was a year apart. I was like, "Wow, good, thanks. How are you?" Like, I don't know, tell me about your year. Like, what have we missed? What happened?
That's incredible.
It was like,
or you'd be trying to message someone and then they wouldn't respond, and then on your birthday they'll be like, "Happy birthday! Hope you have the most amazing day," and then you'll be like, "Oh my God, thanks so much! Like, let's get together."
That's a funny little thing.
Nothing.
That's incredible.
You're like, okay, see you on your next birthday.
And then you get the message next year on the birthday. Okay, let's try this again. You want to go for coffee?
Oh my God,
incredible.
we've been through so much.
I have a question that I've
here.
always wanted to ask Canadians. Do you guys genuinely get offended when people think you're American?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely, 100%.
Like, why do you think Canada's better than America?
Canadian. Okay, you go. No, you go.
No, because I think.
Like, do you guys have Canadian pride? Is that a thing? Like, I'm very prideful of being from Texas.
Someone said it the other day that they think that we're jealous of America in a way, and we need to like kind of like our ego, like we're like that kind of younger sibling that needs to prove themselves a little bit because there's the big, you know, brother America and there's little Canada here, and we're trying to like prove ourselves. So that's what someone said to me, but I am proud to be Canadian.
Yeah, listen, we have very close American friends, but Canadians generally are much nicer.
It's true.
We are.
I'm not going to comment on that.
No.
Okay, fine.
You guys are much nicer.
Look, there's what, 500 million of you?
Yeah.
Nicer, more down to
40 million
earth.
of us, we're more unique.
That is true. That is true.
More down to earth, we're nicer. And it's like part of the shtick, you know? Like, don't, look at these Americans.
Yeah.
No, Canadians. Ah, okay.
It's
fine.
true.
Yeah.
It is true. It always happens like that.
fine.
I always have to,
No
like,
problem.
where are you from? New York? And I go, no, Toronto. They go, I love Justin Bieber. No, but also we grew up in the cold. I think that says something.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
What does it say?
I don't know.
It says nothing.
I just did an ice bath yesterday. I was trying to like pump myself up a little bit. I'm like, I'm from Canada.
Okay.
Wait, Mike mentioned this. You guys both turned 31 a few weeks ago. 2 days apart.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be turning 31 and still living like a 20-year-old?
No, we did not live like
Listen, they do say that Israel's this Peter Pan syndrome. That's one of the things
Shout out Don
you have
Brown, we talked about it.
to worry about is that you don't grow up and
You're
you can,
eternally 20 years old.
You can continue living this sustainable lifestyle where you're always going out. You always
Is
have
it
people
sustainable?
to go out with.
No.
It's not sustainable.
I am not.
It's not sustainable for me, but for people are. You can get trapped in this cycle and wake up one day. You can be 40 years old and be like, what the hell? What just happened to me the last 10 years? But I think...
Does it feel good to be living like a 20-year-old?
We don't live like 20-year-olds. Let's not keep...
25-year-olds.
Let's not restating that statement. Kyle's actually much better than me. Kyle's very structured in his...
I just bought an air fryer. I got a Dyson. I'm feeling good about myself.
You finished first place in an 180-kilometer relay race.
Well, on
Big deal.
Thursday,
Big
10 other
deal.
people.
Big deal.
Well, whatever. You were one of those people.
And I did go home and put a sweet potato on my Ninja, and I felt good about it. So yeah, it's the small things in life. I remember even calling my mom last week, and I was like, "Mom, like I made the most amazing thing in my in my air fryer. Like that's what's getting me excited now. So how the tables have turned.
I take it back. Guys, we have very limited time left, so I want to do 2 hot takes for our audience. Let's discuss, okay? You guys know what hot takes are, right?
Hot Take Thursdays.
Hot Take Thursday. There we go. Okay.
Right,
hot take number 1.
She's my boss.
Wait, how do we respond to this?
You respond what you think. If you think it's a hot take, if you think it's controversial or not.
Okay.
Ready? Hot take number 1. There is actually a life outside of Tel Aviv.
100%.
Listen,
better life.
Better life.
I disagree.
Let's be real, okay?
I disagree.
We're always
Better.
like,
I
we're
disagree.
so excited to leave Tel Aviv. We speak
And then
about,
we never leave Tel Aviv.
Or we leave Tel Aviv, and after 1 hour, we're like, get the hell back to Tel Aviv. I have anxiety. I don't want to be here
that's
anymore.
me.
That is true. But like me and my friends always have a joke that like if I'm going to my cousin's on Friday or I'm going somewhere else outside of like Tel Aviv for Shabbat, I'll be like to my friend like, oh, where are you doing Shabbat tonight? I'll be like, I'm going to like Pet the Tikva. Like, he's like, wow, that's sick.
No,
you get to go on the highway 20 minutes out of Tel Aviv. I'm like, I know, it's pretty cool.
Me and Kyle are very like living in the moment kind of people. So Kyle one weekend went to Gush Etzion near Jerusalem.
Gush Etzion.
Sorry, where there's a more religious.
First time I kept Shabbat.
More religious group of
story.
people, and Kyle comes back, and I couldn't speak to him all weekend because he was keeping Shabbat with his family friends, and he goes, Mike, I'm keeping Shabbat. That was the most beautiful experience of my life. We have to start leaving Tel Aviv like once
Everyone
a month
has
at
a
least.
story.
We have to go sit there.
I'm keeping Shabbat now. No, no one ends up keeping Shabbat.
No, but when you leave Tel Aviv and you go to these other places and you see these families, moshavs, kibbutz, it's beautiful. It's
is.
really, really nice.
Tel Aviv is its own country. It feels like it.
It is.
I went to Jerusalem last Monday for a business meeting, and even just that 5 hours being in
Tel
Jerusalem,
Aviv
I was
is
like,
one
where
country.
am I?
Tel Aviv is the best city in the world. Let me just say, best city in the world.
Second best city, Austin, Texas. Okay, next one.
Okay, yeah.
And
Get
last
to the
one.
next one.
Go Aggies.
The Brits are the best Olim, followed by South Africans.
Wow.
It's a hot take. That's a hot take.
How are you
Who
gonna...
thinks Brits are the best Olim?
I mean, like, we're not that bad, if we're being honest. I mean, like, we're great. We're funny. We went to Hogwarts. I mean, like, I don't think Brits
Kyle,
are that
where are you
bad.
from? I'm Kyle from Leeds.
I actually just, I'm Kyle from Leeds.
They all do
Every
that.
time,
They
every
all
time.
do that.
You also have a good Harry Potter shtick.
Well, Harry Potter's my favorite series of all time. I just think it's
What?
not me, not Hermione, you.
Oh,
No,
dear,
but-
we are in trouble.
So consensus. How do we feel about the Brits?
That is not true.
That they're the best.
So
I
does that make it a hot take if it's not
I
true?
guess.
South Africans are awesome. I do love
Yeah,
the South
South Africans
Africans.
are
Africans are great.
Yeah.
I also think it's an environment of where you grow up, and I think
Well-
South Africa is beautiful, and it has, you know, in London. I've been only there for a couple of days, but like you're growing up in the rain, so it's gonna have an effect on like your bitterness a little bit. I'm not being wrong.
Londoners
I love Brits. I have a lot of friends that are Brits. Everyone's the
What
best. but,
podcast did you hear that on? Did you hear that on a Joe Rogan podcast?
it was a Huberman show podcast, but still, maybe it has an effect on how they grew up. So maybe
Oh
maybe
my
the Brits
God.
are just who they are because of the weather.
I just don't think you'll go up to anyone and they'll say like the Brits are the best Olim.
Well, you can't ask on a Canadian series
Yeah,
who the
that's
best
true.
Olim
But
are.
Americans,
Canadians
though.
are the best. Give us one more. Let's do one more.
Well, we're
One
also
more.
part of the
One more.
Commonwealth. We're part of this whole.
Yeah, we have the same king.
Aroma Coffee
Nice.
has the best coffee. Hot take.
I don't
Hot
think
take.
I just.
Hot take.
I think you made that up. Like I don't know
Hot
who
take.
writes that. Like
Someone sent that in.
I'm a social coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee every morning. I just drink coffee at meetings, and I enjoy it. But I don't like. I'm not like a big coffee guy where I get up every day and I
already
have to go.
funny.
I'm a social coffee drinker.
Yes, he does that. Yeah.
So I don't really go to Aroma
Okay.
here. I don't think Israelis go to Aroma here, but no. From
So
what
who
I
funds
no.
Aroma? How's Aroma one of the
funds are
Taglit
Who
kids?
funds the encampment?
Because no, like who fund like Taglit kids? Like everyone on Taglit goes
Look,
to Aroma.
because Aroma's huge in North America.
Yeah, so Aroma opened in Canada,
That's
and
true.
it's
When the
doing
hostages
really well.
got released yesterday, my friends to celebrate in Toronto, Jake, went to Aroma to have like coffee and food because it's like considered like the
Israel,
Israel
yeah,
outside of
yeah.
outside of Israel.
So what's
like,
your favorite coffee and tell? People say it's Chachos.
Chachos.
People say it's
No,
Chachos.
I love Chachos, but honestly, Nachat Dizengoff Square, it's just
Interesting.
I
They,
don't
just,
like their
they
coffee.
opened a second Nachat, I think, recently.
they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a hot
Anyways,
take.
That's it.
Yeah,
good
guys,
job. Hot takes.
guys, this was such a fun Olim success story podcast and our first one, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How do you feel?
Feel good. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Kyle. And we've been through this journey together that's just still going, and we've had some bumps along the way.
Ladies, they're single.
We-
So if you're watching, like,
Kyle gets offended that I actually told people that we broke up 6 months ago because Kyle moved out of the apartments. He goes, Mike, don't say that to people. We didn't break up. We're still best friends. And I'm like, I know that. But still, yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and to go on it with your best friend who comes from where you come from.
Sure.
So you can share all these experiences together, have so many things to speak about. Like I don't have to say, oh, I have my friend this back home and give the whole background story. I just say it to Kyle, and like he knows exactly what I'm speaking about. And just little things like that make life so much easier.
For sure.
Here. So
You guys are a big inspiration to me.
And ditto to that. And also just, you know, our story might be unique in that sense that not everyone gets to move here with their best friends. You do meet just the most amazing people here. So even if you're not coming here with your best friend or, you know, you're coming on your own.
Come to Olim and TLV events.
Olim and Tel Aviv events, you meet great people. Listen, our friend group here, my theory is time is moving really slow. I feel like I moved here like 20 years ago, but it's only been 5. I feel like I've known Noah my whole life. I met you, like 6-7 months ago?
Yeah.
We've done like 7 videos ago. So, but yeah, you meet the most amazing people here. Everyone's super open. We actually, one of our best friends, if I can say one last story, we were walking on the beach in our first year. And when you first move here, you get so excited when you hear English. You're walking in Israel, you hear English, so you automatically think you have to speak to someone who's speaking English.
Like I played Maccabi.
Yeah, Kyle also played Maccabi, by the way. Professional hockey. Kyle was on the hockey.
Now they're doing the shtick of hyping each other up.
Kyle was on the hockey team for Team Israel, went to Finland or in competition.
Hey.
Anyways, so we're walking on the beach. We hear this girl speaking English, so we go up to her, start speaking to her. Not because she was a girl, just because she spoke English. And hey, how are you? Where are you from? Like, where are you from?
Where are you from?
Didn't do the knee drop. And so we just start speaking to her, and then this guy like emerges from the water, and we're like, oh fuck, she's with a guy, so might as well get out of here. And then he started talking to us. He also just recently moved here. And then he kept bothering us to go for drinks with him. And one night we're like, you know what, let's do it. Seems like a nice guy. And now he's one of our closest friends.
Who's it?
Max Satter. Shout out Max. Woo!
Yeah, it just happens like that. I think that's the beauty and uniqueness here.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been amazing. Everyone, we'll see you at our Shavuot party on Wednesday.
Can I just say one more thing? Noah is unbelievable. What she's done in Olim and Tel Aviv is something really special. I'm so lucky to be a part of it. Everyone that affiliates me with the brand, just know that I have done absolutely nothing to build it up where it is today. Hopefully I can make it and move forward, and we can continue to build and grow it. But until now, I have done absolutely nothing.
That's not true.
Noah is our fearless leader, and we're very
fearless. I have anxiety attacks
but
every
she
day.
has anxiety attacks all the time. 4 more years, and I'm just happy now to be a part of it.
Love you.
So sweet, Mike.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Stay tuned for our next events. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play, YouTube, and until the next time.
Yalla.
Au revoir, Shoshana.
Schnitzel time.
All the time.
עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
הוקלט באולפני אדיו, המשווקת את ספוטיפיי בישראל.